Hey everyone, it's Greg from Stationery Shenanigans. Do you collect any specific stationery items? Well, as I was packing for my upcoming move, I realized that I tend to buy notebooks whenever I travel somewhere. So in this video, I'm going to go ahead and share you my notebooks from around the world. So whenever I take any kind of trip, the first thing I usually do is see if there's any stationery stores in that city, just because. So whenever I'm traveling or going to like an arts and crafts show or just stumble upon a more independent stationery shop, I love to see what kind of notebooks they offer, whether they're handmade or from smaller companies or anything I've never seen before, because I'm really looking for things that are a little bit more unique or special. So I'm just going to go one by one and kind of give a little story behind each notebook. I thought you all would love to share in this with me, because if you're watching this video, obviously you're into notebooks and stationery as well. So let's just go ahead and get started. And the funny thing is, as I'm looking at some of these, I'm like, some of them I specifically remember where I got them and all that, but then some of them, like, I have no idea where I got these. So first up are these two, which I cannot remember for the life of me where I got them. They are like kind of a soft, they're made in Italy, so I don't know if I got them in Italy, but they're like a soft cover kind of book, and inside it is just lined notebook paper. So this one's like a wooden texture looking one, and this one's a green one. It's really, actually this is really beautiful. The next one, I think I got this in, some of them I'll be able to tell from the price tag. This I got in Greece when I was in Thessaloniki. This is just a A4 notebook that's lined. I definitely love A4 size, and it's pretty hard to find in the US. This is from Carrefour, so I probably also got this either in Greece or Poland. This is, I believe it's French rolled. Yeah, so I guess probably in the US this is more unique, but in Europe this is common. So sometimes I do get these things at like Auchan, which is kind of like the Walmart or Target throughout Europe, or Carrefour. So sometimes they're not like independent, but then some of them I did get like at an at a arts thing. So there's that. And I used to fly through Frankfurt Airport a lot. So anytime I'm in Germany, I would always try to get Leuchtturm or Lamy, for example, because usually they have more choices in Germany and the price is better. So this is just a dotted hardback notebook, and I really like this periwinkle blue color. And then on the Leuchtturm train, we have this limited edition gold, which I got for €14.95. Probably again in Frankfurt or Vienna, because I used to travel through Vienna a lot. I don't know if the gold is still limited edition, or is it something that they still make? I'm not sure actually, but I just obviously loved it. Let me know in the comments if you recognize any of these notebooks, or if you use anything similar, or what's like your favorite type of unique notebook. This is pretty much a knockoff of like a Kokyo notebook. I bought this at the convenience store called Family Mart, which if you've been to China or Japan, you're probably familiar with, when I worked in Shanghai. So probably my first or second night there, I had gone to the Family Mart near where I was living, and they had this notebook, and it was less than $1, and I was just excited and I had to get it. So this is before I came across the really nice stationery store in Shanghai where you can get authentic Japanese products. I had just bought this in excitement because I thought, oh, well, at least I can get something that's kind of like a Kokyo notebook. Next is, I got these in probably Dusseldorf. It was just like a 2 notebook pack for €2. I just really liked the size of it, and I liked what little space there is actually between the lines. So I kept that. Now that I'm talking about it, it's kind of fun. It's like going down memory lane, but this is just one of those things I collect. This I got in Lithuania. It's just a grid notebook. Again, I like this size. Also, I tended to buy a lot smaller ones, obviously because I'm traveling and I can't fill up my suitcase with stationery. which I've done before. I've made sure I've had plenty of room when I go to certain places because I knew I was going to buy a lot of stationery. Okay, this is, I think it's pretty common now. This is apuntes, which are made in Mexico. I got this actually not in Mexico. I got it in Charlottesville, Virginia. There is a independent stationery store there. I'm not sure if it's still there. That sells kind of like harder to find stationery items. And when I saw this, I was gonna try it out. I never heard of apuntes before, but I think it's kind of taken off a little bit in the US, especially with more Latinx retailers like Amarillo Stationery bringing more brands onto the scene. So this is apuntes, and I like the coloring of it. Next is, if you're a Hobonichi person, maybe you recognize this and you can tell me what year it's from, but this is a Hobonichi plain notebook with silver, I don't know if you can see it, shiny silver border or trim. Let's see what it says. It says conversion tables. Yeah, I have no idea which year I got this in. Probably maybe 2016 or something like that. So that's a Hobonichi, if you can believe it. Next, I got this at Auchan when I lived in Moscow. I actually bought this for a work thing that I ended up not using it, but I liked it because it just, again, felt different than a lot of the stuff you see in the US. This is like hard plastic, and there is a elastic here, and you open it up and it has like folders, and then it has a notepad with grid. You can remove the notepad, and yeah. I probably bought it because I was outside a lot, and obviously it snows there and everything, and I figured this would protect your notebook by having this like hard plastic. So that was my rationale behind that. Next is, I believe this is, I know it's from Poland. Yeah, so this is a brand that's made in Poland that I probably just got at a bookstore there. It's kind of like their Moleskine, and you can see here it has the date in the top corner. And it does have this little elastic, which, let me know if you know, it's so small. Like, I guess you could put a regular pencil in there, or maybe it serves some other function, I'm not sure. But that is from Poland. This I got in Tokyo. I've posted before the Kokyo sketchbooks from this line that I'm obsessed with, but this is the first time I was exposed to these. I actually got the transit book, which is like a timetable grid pattern. And I originally bought this to do budgeting and manage my accounts and stuff like that, which, as you can see, I have not used it for that. So I just held on to this. It was kind of like my first exposure probably to these Kokyo notebooks. Next, this is from Sweden when I was in Malmö, Sweden. And let's go ahead and open it, because if you can believe it, I have not opened the plastic yet. And it's been a couple years since I've been to Sweden. But it is from BNT, which I'm assuming is a big Swedish brand, because I probably also bought this at like a regular bookstore. BNT Office. It's ruled 80 grams, 96 sheets. BNT Scandinavia. And yeah, it's just kind of like a regular Moleskine kind of notebook. Paper does feel really nice and smooth, and I do like the rounded edges. And it's got like a pleathery feel to the cover, so that is from Sweden. This is obviously from Vienna. I love Vienna. When I was younger, and it was one of the first cities that I went to that I kind of felt at home. And then I traveled to Vienna extensively up until really I moved back to the US in 2019. So I just have good memories of Vienna, and I can't wait to go back. But this is just a lined notebook that's dotted that I probably got like at the airport or a newsstand or something. Again, it's really thin, so I figured I could just pop it in my carry-on or something like that. So Vienna notebook. This is, I guess this kind of genre is called like a copybook, which are pretty popular in Europe when you go to bookstores or not department stores, like supermarkets. they have a lot of these style of notebooks. They're usually in the A5 size, and they are grid. I feel like that's what's more common over there. Like, I don't think I wrote on grid paper until I first went to my university semester in Russia, which was a long time ago. And I noticed that's like when I started to like to write with grid paper. So this is actually, okay, it is not from Russia. I got this when I was in Poland. But I have ones that are similar, but I do love the A5 size, and there's just something about these. Let us move on here. This I got in Thessaloniki, Greece. It was at like a arts fair. It was a guy who makes leather journals, and this one was interesting because it is traveler's notebook style. So it is, I'm guessing this is A5. So it's A5 notebooks, but as you can see here, there are 4 of them with elastics. So I just remember talking to the guy, I just thought it was really cool, and it was fairly inexpensive. As a leather tie, and then a button, what's this word? Button closure. So yeah, that's a leather, and you can tell it's real leather, and it smells nice and all that kind of stuff. So that is a A5 traveler's notebook. This one's kind of funny. This is like, bought this in Russia. Oops. It says nano notebook. So these are like mini notebooks. And I think, and look, it was only 150 rubles, which is like, back then it was like $2. I got this at a store, was it Respublika? No, it was Chitaigorod. Maybe it was Respublika. There's a store that's kind of like a hipstery store that sells like books, stationery, decor. It was a cool place to go. Don't know if those places are still there now, but anyway, I think I originally got this to put passwords and stuff in, or like maybe keep it in my wallet to manage my checking account or something, but it just says like nano notebook 4, and then like your school, your class, all that stuff, and it's just a little baby lined notebook. I mean, look at that. Oh, this one is, whoa, okay, I never looked in this one. This is honeycomb lined. Now that is unique. I have never seen notebook paper that is honeycombed lined. Okay, that's kind of cool. Moving on. And then the last one, I have one more here, 2 more of these. This is probably also from Poland. Yes, 6 zloty. Okay. So this is a Polish notebook. I just got it because there's a guy in a top hat on the cover. And this is like that copybook style, so it is just grid paper. I love these copybook styles. I've used them like for years. I mean, I've gone through them, so I didn't keep all the ones I used before. It's kind of just writing stuff, and it's a good size to carry around. But I miss them because, you know, over there they were inexpensive and they were very common, and you could go into the store and there'd be like ones with hardback, softback, 200 different covers, different themes, different like all that kind of stuff. And I feel like we don't have this in the US, something as standard as that everywhere. I feel like when you go into a Target or Walmart, the regular notebooks that school children use are just boring. They're just regular covers. Maybe there's one with like stars or puppies or spaceships or whatever, but it's not like to this level. So that is one thing I missed about going to stationery stores in Europe. That's Top Hat Guy. This one is cool. I got this in Bratislava, Slovakia. This is very retro. I feel like it is a little binder. I guess it's a 6 size. It is from Papierni Brno. Okay, maybe I bought this in Brno, not Bratislava. So maybe this is Czech Republic when I was in Brno. And then I did buy like these little refills just because I thought, okay, don't know if I'd be able to get this in the US. This is before I got into like stationery YouTube and all that stuff. So I just like the green color. Doesn't it make you think of like 1970s? Like, I don't know. So got that. We're categorizing that as a notebook from around the world. Oh, here's another refill. Okay, almost done. I feel like I'm all over the place, but I'm going to talk about one more notebook style. And this is something I used when I lived in Russia, both as a student a long time ago and both for my job. So these are like these little A5 binders. And I actually have a couple different ones, but these are just ones I'm sharing because this kind of highlights the differences. This one is like a cardboard binder with an elastic, and then you open it up and you have your refill paper. And again, you can buy refill paper in all different kinds. As you can see here, before I left, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able, when I moved back to the US, I wasn't sure when I was going to get to go back, which now it doesn't seem possible, so I actually bought a lot of refills. So I got like this one, which is colored paper in grid, and then I got, same thing, one that's yellow. I really like the pale yellow. I have this thing where I like to write on yellow paper. And then this is also just more grid paper. So I have some refills of that. And this is a yellow, I don't know what material this would be called. Does it say? No. Again, just another binder. I liked how this lays flat and the rings are on this side. And then when you close the notebook, you can see that the rings are only up. And there is an elastic on the side. And then this one I liked too. I actually used this one for like years at work, and I just kept refilling the papers over and over again. It is by that same brand. And these are all fairly inexpensive. They're like a few dollars to get one of the binders. And yeah, so I think that's about it. That is my little notebooks from around the world. Sorry that I've been all over the place. I am so close to finishing packing and getting ready for my big move next week. So I just thought it'd be fun to share this with you all. And now I have to go finish packing these. I will see you next time. Take care.